Do you ever wonder if you're meditating right? Or do you fall asleep in your meditations? Maybe you feel like meditation is just not your thing, but you want it to be. Well, today I'm going to be talking about the biggest questions and concerns around meditation and how to know that your meditation is actually working. So stay tuned. Welcome to Spiritual and Ambitious. I'm your host, Whitney McNeill. I'm a certified medium and spiritual teacher, and I help spiritual and ambitious souls just like you live your life purpose through your career and attract abundance by connecting into your intuition and spirit guides. Let's get spiritual and ambitious. Welcome to a new episode of the Spiritual and Ambitious podcast. And today we are talking about how to know if your meditation is working. I'm actually going to be more so talking about the questions that come up around meditation and if you're doing it right and how all those things are. But before we do, let's pull a card from the Messenger of Spirit Oracle deck. And the card is the card of water. And it's allow it to flow, let that shit go, which is the point of meditation. So I love how it is very accurate and on point of our topic today. So let's get into it. With meditation, I am more so talking about guided meditations. And when people purchase my meditation library, my meditations are guided. So I'm talking and they are channeled from spirit. That means I don't have a script. I just say whatever comes in from spirit. And they're Reiki infused. So I'm more so talking about that kind of meditation versus sitting there and not thinking about anything. And when I see my students inside of Four Intuitive Languages ask questions, because I also give meditations in there, I get this one question that comes up a lot. What if I fall asleep? Oh my gosh, I can't stay awake. What do I do? Of course it couldn't work. And I always say to them, yes, it is working, because the point of meditation in my meditations is that the intention and the energy is there. And so when you're listening to the meditation, your body is going into the most receptive state possible to get the best results. This would also happen when I used to do in-person Reiki sessions and people would fall asleep on the table. They were so afraid that it wouldn't work if they weren't awake. And this is our ego trying to control our experience. Our ego wants to make sure we're doing it right. And our ego thinks we have to be on guard, on call, in action to make that happen. And with meditation, we're doing the opposite. We are moving into receptivity mode. And receptivity mode means we are ready to just experience. And that is what I am talking about. So when you fall asleep, you are still hearing the words and the meditations that are coming through into your subconscious, and you're still receiving Reiki energy if that is something that you want. And your spirit guides oftentimes take you on astral visits because they know your intention of the meditation that you're listening to. So, do meditations still work when you fall asleep? Mine are designed to, yes. If you're saying, well, I'm just trying to meditate and clear my mind and I'm falling asleep, then maybe the answer is no. But I'm talking about the guided meditations. Yes, it still works. And oftentimes your spirit guides, your own spirit, you're doing things that need to happen based on the meditation that's coming through. And if, for instance, you are someone that doesn't rest, let your mind rest, then what a gift you're giving yourself by falling asleep, because that is what needs to happen for this to be integrated into your energy and system. Now, of course, I'm not saying you have to fall asleep. And so some people say, well, what if I can't follow along? Whitney, I hear your words, and then all of a sudden I'm doing something else. And then I pop back in at the end of your meditation and I'm missed all of it. I must have done something wrong. And I smile and say, you did exactly what you were meant to do. What happens is that your spirit guides are taking you on a journey. You might be going into a deeper trance. You might be going to astral visit to do what you need to do. And then you come back at the end of the meditation so that you can ground back into your body. This happens to me a lot. Whenever I have been listening to guided meditations, I will sometimes see what the person is describing, and then I'm out and I come back at the end. Now, another thing that happens in meditations is that you might start to see, feel, hear, or know what I'm getting ready to say without actually hearing it. It's like you're one step ahead. And that's because the energy of the meditation and your energy is already aligned. And so you are going to do what you need to do without your brain understanding the process yet, which I think is always really great. But sometimes people say, oh my gosh, Whitney, I'm not able to see anything. You're describing things, you're telling me I'm seeing my spirit guides, and I don't see anything. I must be doing it wrong. The answer, no, you're not. You're not doing anything wrong. What you're doing is you're experiencing the meditation the way you need to, unless you're constantly thinking the entire time, I'm doing it wrong. If that's the case, then you do need to back up a bit and allow yourself the entire experience. So when you listen to a guided meditation, it's okay if you don't see anything because we are not replicas of one another. Not everybody has the intuitive language of the seer, which is clairvoyance. That's okay. So really pay attention and lean into your intuitive language the way it is designed for you. You might be a feeler. Just let the meditation play and see what feelings come up. You might have emotions that come up. If you are a channeler, you're probably not going to feel anything, hear anything, or see anything if that's your only intuitive language. So just listen to the meditation and let yourself experience it. If you are a clairaudient, you might just listen to the words and that's all you need. It is the vibration. So that's going to be something that's really important for you to just experience the way you are meant to experience. Now, another concern that people say to me, Whitney, I can't sit still. I can't sit and listen to a meditation. I just can't do it. So what I tell my students who have this problem is I'll say, well, one, it's important that you give yourself permission before you start the meditation and give yourself permission to actually let your mind relax. And you might have to say things to yourself like, when I meditate, I am more productive. When I meditate, I am more aligned. I am more abundant. I receive abundance when I meditate. The reason we have to say this is because our ego wants to control. Our ego thinks it needs to be there, and we want to be present. And we feel like if we're sitting there on our butts, that we're not going to be productive. And so there could be a deep-seated wound or issue that you need to heal around that. Just allowing yourself that 5 minutes of meditation or whatever it is going to be really important. Another thing you can do is write all the things down that are bothering you and promise yourself you will return to these concerns or your to-do list or your worries after your meditation. So that's going to be important. As a professional psychic medium, I've done tens of thousands of readings, but I felt a call to move more fully into teaching intuition. But I still get so many requests about doing readings. So while I don't do readings anymore, I have brought in some very trusted colleagues who are now available for live 1-hour readings on Zoom. If you would like to book your psychic medium reading, go to messengerofspirit.com/appointments to see our available readers and schedule your Zoom reading today. Another tip is to do your meditation when you feel like you can actually let go and relax. So this is not going to be in between your appointments because you need to be in go mode probably in your appointments. If you have a busy day ahead, it might not be something you want to do in the morning. Maybe when you wake up, you've got all this energy that you need to expend and you want to hit the ground running. So then maybe you want to do meditating at night. Some people absolutely love morning meditation, so do it in the morning. Whatever works for you is what is important. How does your energy want to be? When do you get alone time? When do you feel like you can actually relax? when do you feel like you can be undisturbed? And so if you're saying never, I don't feel like I can ever be undisturbed, then it is your job to create boundaries and tell people not to disturb you. I need alone time. I need quiet time. I need to just have some time by myself. Don't disturb me for 30 minutes or whatever it is. Lock the freaking door, whatever you need to do. I've actually had students that have gone into their closet for some time to connect with their guides. And I've had people drive to a store and sit in the parking lot because they really feel like their home is just too chaotic. And while those things might be a good temporary fix, it's probably more of a lesson of some boundary conversations that you might need to have as well. And so that's going to be really important. If you're a channeler, what normally happens is that it's really, really hard to sit still and really, really hard to meditate. So, channelers' number one way that they intuit information from their spirit guides is through their body. If their body is tired, if their body is heavy, if their body is energized, it is really important that you need to expend some energy in order for you to feel like you're receiving clear messages. So, talking, toning, writing, walking, all those things can help get that energy out. And it's okay to listen to meditation sometimes when you're walking or doing a repetitive action that is safe. It is not okay to listen to meditation when you're driving. So it is not okay for that repetitive action. But cleaning sometimes gives a meditative feel. Before you meditate, you might want to jump up and down or do a little dance, but maybe you just want to pace around your room or go on a walk and listen to the meditation. Now, if you're going on a walk, just please make sure there's no cars that are going to be coming right at you. You still need to pay attention. So it's going to be hard for you to completely relax if you're out walking, but you can certainly walk around your home, walk around your room, pace back and forth, those kind of things. That would be more of a, I'm going to meditate as I'm walking or jumping up and down. I know that sounds so weird, but for some people, it is really, really helpful. So while the actions of cleaning, showering, driving, those kind of things are repetitive and they might get you into a more relaxed state, it's not the best time to listen to a meditation because you still have to think. Especially if you are cleaning, you have to get out the cleaning supplies. If you're cooking, you have to get out knives. So, yeah, you get what I'm saying here. It depends on the level of relaxation that you're looking for. But if you feel like it's really hard to sit still, a lot of the times there is something within yourself where it's saying to you, I can't sit down because it feels awkward. It feels weird. It feels uncomfortable. I can't sit down because maybe you're worried about the message that you're going to be getting from spirit and that you're afraid of what they're going to tell you, or maybe you're afraid that you're going to get it wrong. There are so many different reasons why we feel like we can't sit still. Sometimes it's our chemistry and it's just part of the design that we have. Maybe you're someone who is more hyper, and so it's really hard for you to just sit and be. Maybe it's hard to focus. So there's lots of different reasons why, but there are solutions. And that's what I'm saying. There's never a wrong way to meditate unless you are driving, really, unless you're doing something like operating heavy equipment, unless you're doing something to put yourself in danger. There's not a wrong way to meditate. So, those are some of the biggest questions that I get. And I wanted to provide some solutions for you on that. But how do you know your meditation is working? You will feel lighter. You will start noticing shifts in your life when you're listening to meditation. And while it's always great to meditate on a consistent basis, you can still get an effect from one time that you meditate, but it helps you. So every meditation that I do has an intention. And so you can notice the different experiences, the different energetic shifts that you're making and see what kind of tangible results are being produced. Maybe you start to notice, oh, now it's easier to meditate because you're doing it on a consistent basis and you are doing it over and over. It's becoming a natural part of your life. Maybe you start to feel the more I meditate, the more I'm getting intuitive messages. And you know what? The other day, I actually saw something in spirit, or I actually felt something. So you're starting to notice your intuition improving. Maybe you start to notice that all of a sudden people want to give you things and you are receiving. This could be from doing abundance meditations and opening up your energy to receive. So you just need to look at the benefits and see what's happening and shifting for you. And some meditations are meant to uncover blocks so we can have emotional releases after meditations. And it might not be till like 3 days later. So you might notice some things shifting and stirring in your energy field, no matter what the goal of the meditation is. The overall result is that you will feel lighter. It may not be immediate. It might not be if you're crying because you've unblocked some sort of emotional block that was really keeping you walled up, but afterwards you will feel lighter. So I wanted to address the biggest concerns of meditation. I hope this has helped you. And if you would like 20 meditations in my meditation library, channeled to elevate your intuition, abundance, and alignment to purpose, you can go over to messengerofspirit.com/elevate. I will link to it in the show notes. It's $33 for 20 meditations. They are guided, channeled, and energy infused with Reiki. And again, you can listen to them while you're sleeping, or you can make an intention to just listen in and let yourself go. Remember the water card today. Allow it to flow, let that shit go. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And until you hear from me again, here's to staying spiritual and ambitious. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And if you loved it, would you please share it with a friend? I would also love your review and a reminder to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find me at messengerofspirit.com. And you can take the 4 Intuitive Languages quiz and find show notes there too. If you want to connect on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you can find me at Messenger of Spirit. I'll meet you right here next week. Here's to staying spiritual and ambitious.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.